You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Wednesday, 20th day of November, 2024. Thanks so much for joining us, whoever you are, wherever you are. We're just glad to have you right here, right now. This is our second live broadcast of the day. The first live broadcast, that's our live training room. Runs 2 hours every trading day. However, in order to get into that broadcast, you have to be a member or on the free trial. When Michael joins us in about 50 minutes, he'll show you step by step how to take the free trial. If you take the trial today, we'll get your indicators indicating today. Your trial will officially start tomorrow, which is Thursday, and it'll run all the way through next Wednesday. So really, instead of 5 days, you get 7. And you might be saying, well, what good are the indicators to me on the weekend? Some markets never sleep. So there you go. Now you know. When the live training room ends each day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, we take a quick 30-minute break and come back for this broadcast, the afternoon broadcast, which is open to the public. That's everybody, everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. There's 2 different ways to join the afternoon broadcast live. Now here's the best way. You only have to do it once. Go to mytradingiq.com. Scroll down the page to where it says noon broadcast. Click the link. Fill out the 30-second registration form. It will automatically log you into our platform. But more important, going forward every trading day, you'll get an email about an hour before the broadcast starts. So at 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link in that email and it will log you right into our platform. The benefit there is you have access to the question box, so you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. Of course, there'll be days that you're out of the office, away from the desktop, but you still want to join live. And there'll be days when you're busy, can't join live, but you would like to get caught up later. That's a lot to ask for. But the good news is you can do both via our YouTube channel, which is easy to remember. youtube.com/CFRN, Christian Financial Radio Network, since spring of 2005. But you don't have to remember all that. You already know the youtube.com, so just remember /CFRN. Not only do we broadcast live or simulcast live on our YouTube channel every trading day, as we're doing right now, but we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there's over 2,600 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. If you're new to the world of CFRN, it's a great way to get to know how we've evolved over the years, from when we began to where we are now. Again, thanks to the power of YouTube, you can scroll back 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, even more. Obviously, you're not going to watch them all, nor do you need to. But you can see play by play, day by day, everything that's happened. You can go back as far, I think it is 8 years. youtube.com/CFRN. Okay, this is our schedule for the afternoon broadcast each day. We start with our daily devotional, and we're beginning a new topic today. I really enjoyed the last one, Average Joe. If you missed it, you could always catch it on the YouTube channel. Or you could watch the movie. It was recently released. Now, Christian movies, they don't get the big splashy red carpet LA deal, but you'll probably find it playing at some theater near you. And then, of course, eventually it'll make its way on a Netflix and other places. Average Joe, it was wonderful. I loved it. Then a word of prayer, some global and market news. Then we get into a recap of the Logic 247 alerts, the concierge trade alerts, and then about 50 minutes into the broadcast, Michael joins us, gives us a recap of what happened this morning in the live trading room. Then we do some live trading on the TradingView platform for 30 minutes. And then I wrap up the 2-hour broadcast with our good word for the day. So let's get after it. Our new topic for the next 5 days for our devotional is gratitude. Why gratitude? Well, gratitude is a choice, but why choose it? The good news is that studies show practicing gratitude improves our sleep, moods, and even immunity, or our immune system. In addition, it can help reduce stress and is a powerful way to change your mindset. Now the bad news. Just because you begin practicing gratitude doesn't mean everything in your life suddenly becomes hunky-dory. Paul wrote about this in Philippians 4:12 when he said, I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. Gratitude is an essential part of being a follower of Jesus. No matter how hard life may be at this moment, if you have Jesus, you have all you need. And that's something to be grateful for every day. The problem is, we forget. Life comes at us from so many directions that we can get overwhelmed, sad, anxious, or discouraged. These are normal human reactions to challenging circumstances, like wrestling with addiction, or your child walking away from God. Maybe you have too many bills, your spouse wants a divorce, or you recently lost your job. Whatever your circumstances are, if you allow negative thoughts to linger, they can turn us into bitter, resentful humans. And that doesn't make us great representatives of what Jesus has done in our lives. You see, gratitude is trusting that our good Father provides for every need. When we show thankfulness for what the Lord has done for us, even as we face unimaginable situations. We're showing the world that as a follower of Jesus, we believe his promises. Like Jeremiah 29:11, he has promised us hope and a future. Or Ephesians 3:20, he can do more than we ask, hope, or imagine. Or maybe Romans 8:28, he works all things for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purposes. Begin practicing gratitude for his promises today. Let God change your heart from the inside out. Thank God for his promises that we just went over. And that's the short list. Speak them out loud over your life throughout the day. And notice if your mood and thoughts begin to change for the better. Pray with me. Heavenly Father, show us all how to be more grateful. No matter our circumstances, help us look for the good in our lives. We love you. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. And everybody said, amen. Amen and happy Wednesday. Let me give you the numbers from around the world. We'll start here in the U.S. with the cash markets, or the indices as they're called. The Dow is down 83 points. The Nasdaq is down 123 points. S&P 500 is down 29 points. The Russell 2000 is down 5. In the commodity basket, crude. And let me mention, now some might go, oh man, bummer, all the markets are down. As futures traders, we like to see those four major indices the same color. Doesn't matter if they're green or all red. We just like them to be the same color, because that's when you get better follow through on your trades. And as a futures trader, you can be long, short, and long again all in the same hour, if that's what the chart in front of you is telling you to do. In the commodity basket, crude oil is up 16 cents, trading $69.55 last. Gold up $23.80, trading $26.54.80 last. Silver, silver, down 9 cents, trading $31.16 last. In the Asian markets at the close, Nikkei fell 62 points, Shanghai rose 21, the Hang Seng gained 41. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE down 13, the DAX down 59, the CAC down 31. So we had a mixed day in Asia. It was a red day for the UK. And so far, it is a red Radio Wednesday here in the US of A. Let's go to the news. 1,000 days of war. Ukrainian military launched 6 U.S. supplied short-range ballistic missiles into Russia for the first time early yesterday, 2 days after the Biden administration greenlit their expanded use. It's like if he can't be president, he's going to destroy the world. Nice going, Joe. Russian officials claimed 5 of the missiles were intercepted, with a 6th hitting an ammunition depot in Russia's southwestern region of Bryansk. The incident came on the 1,000th day of the deadliest conflict in Europe since World War II. Oh, Joe, say it ain't so. Sadly, it is. In Hong Kong, 45 pro-democracy activists were sentenced Tuesday to prison terms ranging from 4 to 10 years in Hong Kong's largest case under Beijing's 2020 national security law. Now, I was in Hong Kong when it was still under European rule. But when that lease ran out, mainland China took it back. And God forbid you have pro-democracy thoughts, they'll lock you up. That's what communists do. And that's what AOC and so many others, that's what they want for America. Authorities said the elections undermined state power by attempting to secure a majority needed to veto budgets which could have dissolved the legislature and forced its leader to resign. Benny Tai, a 60-year-old former law professor, received the longest sentence of 10 years for co-organizing the primary elections. The case was brought under China's national security law, which criminalized dissent in June of 2020 after mass anti-government protests in 2019. In total, 47 people were charged in the elections. 2 were acquitted in May. In recent years, Beijing has asserted more control over Hong Kong, a special administrative region that was mostly autonomous from Communist Party control following the UK ceding it to China in 1997. And that was the year I was there. Maybe they should have sent Tampon Tim over. He could have probably fixed things up. Well, for those of you who like to travel, you probably know the name Arthur Fromer. Arthur Fromer, the travel guidebook author and founder of the Frommer's brand. See, nowadays travel's easy because of the internet. But back in the day, when there wasn't an internet, if you wanted to go see a new country, do some traveling, you went to the bookstore and you bought the Frommer's travel guide. It would give you everything you needed to know about the country you're going to visit. The customs, like in Japan, you never show another person the sole of your foot, your shoe. You always sit in a manner. You can cross your legs, but your sole better be pointed at the floor. Because if you cock your leg up, as sometimes men do, and the sole of your shoe's pointing at a Japanese person, that's a great offense. So, Fromer was famous for one book in particular. It came out in 1957. It revolutionized travel for Americans. It was called Europe on $5 a Day, which made international travel accessible and affordable. The book, updated annually until 2007, has sold millions of copies since its initial publication. Born in 1929 in Virginia, Fromer began writing his first travel book for U.S. soldiers overseas while serving in the Army in Germany in the late 50s. Arthur, you will be missed. On to the market news. NVIDIA will report its third quarter earnings after the bell today, giving Wall Street its best and latest look into the strength of the artificial intelligence trade. Now remember, yesterday, and I posted it in the options channel in Telegram. If you're a passport holder, you have access to that. They're expecting a $300 billion swing one way or the other. The world's largely publicly traded company by market cap, NVIDIA's stock price has continued to rocket higher throughout 2024, thanks to the explosive growth in AI across the tech landscape and beyond. Shares of Nvidia were up 196% year to date as of this morning, easily outpacing any of the company's chipmaker rivals. AMD is the closest competitor, which has seen its stock price sink over 5% year to date, while Intel has seen its stock plunge nearly 52%. Now, at the moment, Nvidia is trading $144.86, down $2.15 on the day, about 1.5%. But tonight, when the futures market opens, I probably won't put out the concierge trade alerts right at the bell. Maybe, maybe not, because Nvidia is reporting after the bell. And remember, we're talking about a $300 billion move up or down. Yeah. So, for those of you that love options, go for it. I won't be participating in that trade. Now, here's why Nvidia could be a sink or swim moment for this market. Chip stocks are down 3% since the election. Meanwhile, the S&P 500 is up by about the same measure. Once the pillar of this two-year bull market, semiconductors have been a net drag on U.S. stocks over the last 4 months. So, Target, I know some of you hillbillies call it Target. Just kidding. I am a hillbilly, so I'm allowed to say that. Target. A few months after suggesting a sales turnaround was afoot, Target has offered up an earnings day misfire from start to finish. Target is down $33 on the day. It's over 21%, trading $121.60 last. Today, the retail giant badly missed third quarter Wall Street profit forecasts, slashed full-year guidance after raising it the previous quarter, and took a very cautious stance on holiday sales and profit. And as I said, as a result of the earnings, the stock is down 21% in one day. So be careful with that Nvidia trade this afternoon, however you choose to play it, if you trade it. See, to me, that would be playing, because I have no idea if what's gonna happen. Yeah? That's why we're technical traders, not fundamental traders. From Bloomberg, oil held steady as traders weighed the recent escalation of Russia's war in Ukraine against the U.S. crude stockpile data that gave bulls little to cheer about. With the U.S. data failing to provide a major catalyst in either direction, geopolitical developments remain prominent. Russia said it's prepared to discuss a potential ceasefire in Ukraine with U.S. President-elect Donald Trump, even as the conflict intensifies on all fronts, while the warring sides seek to strengthen their bargaining positions. Gold, which we just mentioned, was up on the day, extended its gains for a third day today, as traders sought safe haven in the precious metal while digesting the latest developments on Russia's war with Ukraine. Ukraine's armed forces fired British cruise missiles at military targets inside Russia for the first time, a Western official familiar with the matter said, as the 1,000-day conflict enters a new phase. Meanwhile, Russia again says it's ready to talk with Donald Trump about a potential ceasefire with Ukraine. But Western officials are skeptical. They're afraid they won't get to be able to crank up their war machine. If you look back historically, war is good for the markets. It's a sad state of affairs. And last on the news docket from Reuters, U.S. inflation continues to ease with wages and the job market cooling and excess price increases largely confined to housing, a situation in which it will likely remain appropriate to continue cutting interest rates, according to Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook this morning. She said the totality of the data suggests that a disinflationary trajectory is still in place and that the labor market is gradually cooling. So, hope she's right. Love to see some more cuts. Okay, now let's bring it home. Logic 247. That's our 24/7 around-the-clock Emini alert service, which all passport holders, of course, have access to, and all trial members. We're currently in week 329. Over the last 329 weeks, we've issued over 18,400 individual handcrafted alerts. And what we've averaged on a weekly basis is 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out based on market structure and a very simple process we teach all of our passport holders in their one-on-one mentoring sessions. This week, since the markets opened Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern through 6:30 a.m. Eastern this morning when Valerie did the recap, we had issued a total of 46 alerts, 4 never triggered, still waiting on 9, 33 actionable alerts, of which 2 or 6% would have been stopped out, again based on market structure and that simple process we teach all of our passport holders in their one-on-one mentoring sessions. Now, it's been a minute since we did this, so if it's been a minute, then that probably means it's time to do it again. Okay, so we got to scroll up and up and up and up. Aha. Last week, week 328, there was a total of 67 alerts issued, 15 never triggered. That gave us 52 actionable alerts, of which 5 or 10% would have been stopped out based on market structure and that simple process we teach our passport holders. So Sunday night began week 329. That's when we go to work. Most traders think they go to, most traders do go to work Monday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. But as futures traders, our Monday is Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's the beginning of the Monday session for us. Now, I'm on Mountain Standard Time. That's why it says 4:03, not 6:03. Okay. Now, wherever you live, Telegram reads the clock on your computer. So whatever time zone you're in, that's what's going to show up right here. Okay. So coming out of the gate Sunday night, our very first alert was a long trade on crude oil. GCLF 25. We have rolled forward. B means buy. Buy 67.70. Initial target 67.80. That's your goal for the day. You can simply put the mouse away. Okay. But for those who want more, there's the next target. Potential resistance because it's long. So you got initial target, second target, third target, fourth target, final trade to target. At the time Valerie did the recap, price was at 68.89. Okay. Now, alert number 18,406 was silver. It never triggered. And we had a long on the Dow, but there was no entry on the first trigger. And see, Valerie is very meticulous. It would have been easy for her to just wait and let it trigger again and mark it with a thumbs up, but we don't do that. The first trigger, the first time price hits that area. If there's no valid trigger as we teach it, then this is what it'll say. Then we had a long on the ES by 59.22, initial target 59.24. Bang, you're done for the day. That's your goal. Second target, potential resistance 59.26, then 59.43, then 59.50, then 59.61. Now remember, on Sunday nights, we're still using the previous week's weekly trading zones. The new zones don't come out till Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. We had a short on the Dow that did quite well. We had a long on the Russell, and we had a short on the Russell. And then we had a long on the NQ. See, B is buy, S is sell. T means initial target. So buying the NQ at 25.93. At the time she did the recap, it had made it up to 26.48. So that's about $1,200 per contract traded. So you had initial target, second target, third target, fourth target, fifth target, sixth target, final trade to target. Short on the NQ. So far this one hasn't triggered. Short on crude. Long on gold. And by the time she did the recap, we had hit 26.19 and a half. So from 25.78 to 25.88, that's $10. That's $1,000 per contract traded. Next target was 26.09, and then the weekly zone from last week. Then we had a short on gold that did not trigger yet. Then we had a long on silver. No trigger, no trigger, no trigger. Long on the Russell. Red X, stop out. That was a long on the NQ. Got stopped out. That's the truth about trading. No trigger. Here we had a long on silver. Here we had a short on the ES. Short on the YM. Short on the Russell. Short on the NQ. No trigger here yet. Long on gold. Short on gold that hasn't triggered. Long on silver. And a short on silver. Now we're up to the 19th. That would be yesterday. We had a short on gold, short on the ES, short on the NQ, short on the Dow, short on the Russell, a long on crude, a long on the Russell, short on silver, stop out on the NQ, long on the ES, long on the Dow. No trigger yet, no trigger yet. Oop, I duped. Sometimes I accidentally dupe one because I forget what I already put out. I'm too lazy to go look, I guess. No trigger here yet. And then we have a long on the NQ. Short on silver. No trigger there. And this brings us up to today. So none of these are in that recap that Valerie published this morning, because I just posted all of these today. Okay, so now to put that into perspective, let's go back here. So far this week, since the markets opened Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, 46 alerts, 4 never triggered, 9 waiting, 33 actionable, 2 stop outs, 6%. Okay, so now you know what you've been missing if you're a passport holder and you're not following the logic alerts, which can come out anytime around the clock, 2 a.m. or 2 p.m., because futures trade around the clock and we have traders around the globe. They're posted as opportunity presents. Now, long before we had Logic 247, our original alert service, which is about twice as old, we still have. They're called the concierge trade alerts. These are different. If you're a member or trial member, make sure you read this information. It's very important. If there's something you don't understand, ask. So last night, these targets went out right at the open, 6 p.m. Eastern. Okay? So every one of our, I want this to sink in, every one of our members, every one of our trial members had these targets the moment the market opened last night. S&P 500, the Dow, Russell, crude oil, NQ, gold, silver, and bonds. Okay. Now, let's go to the chart. S&P 500 daily chart. Okay. Now, this green line is called the BBC, stands for bull bear cross. When price crosses above the green line, we expect higher prices. When price crosses below the green line, we expect lower prices, higher prices, lower prices. One thing you'll note is that when price pulls back to the BBC or reverts to the mean, in our case the mean is green, it's called the BBC, bull bear cross. The pullback holds more often than not. We get a leg up and a retracement, the pullback holds, but then we run into resistance at red and falling, and that pushes us back below the BBC. Then the pullback holds, then the pullback holds, and eventually we'll trade through the BBC. And this low right here, if you know how to read a chart, you'd have been expecting support right there. All these days, all these wicks told you to expect support there. And there it was. And then we got the election rally. Put in a new all-time historic high on November 11th at 60.53 and a quarter. Then the step line, and back here after this day, and then this down day, I said, guys, looks like a rounding top. And sure enough, we came all the way back to the BBC and the 38% fib extension. I said, if we consolidate here for a few days, blue and climbing is going to become red and falling, just like it did here. Once the black step line crosses blue and climbing, then that's a definite signal price is headed back to the BBC. So where we close today will be real important. Now, the initial support came off this bullish cross right here. When you have a bullish cross that leads to an extended move, that's when the blue line gets above the green line. The first time price revisits that area will almost always be good support. And it was. So if we continue to consolidate sideways here at the BBC, red and falling is going to work its way down. Support is at the low of today, then the low of yesterday, then the 24% fib extension, and just below that, the 24% fib extension, and then the 24% fib extension is lined right up with the 24% 4% fib retracement. Yeah. So right now we're sitting on top of the VBC and the 38% fib extension. So that's support times 2. But with red and falling overhead and a red body on the candle, I think we're headed lower. But that's not a forecast, it's just an observation. Now let me talk to you about the importance of the daily chart. Whether you trade futures or stocks or crypto or Forex or ETFs, institutional traders, the ones with huge accounts who trade in huge size, they are the ones who move price. Okay? You and I, we're just liquidity for those deep pockets. But that's okay. We can make money as liquidity as long as we know what the deep pockets are up to. So no matter what you trade, I encourage you to spend 2 minutes with the daily chart before you start trading. Get a free look at what the deep pockets are doing. Identify where major areas of support are and resistance. Okay? Things you can't see on the smaller time frame. If you'll commit to doing that for the next 30 trading days, I believe you'll come back to me and say, hey man, thanks for the tip. That changed everything for me. So, all alerts, both logic and concierge, are created on the 30-minute chart. Nothing magic about 30 minutes. It's simply the time frame I chose years ago. And it's not broke. It's best to leave it alone. When price drops to a weekly trading zone, that's these guys, we expect support. When price rallies up to a weekly trading zone, we expect resistance. That's how the markets work. They go from support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over again and again. It's a never-ending cycle. Whether it's futures or stocks, crypto or Forex or ETFs, that's simply how markets work. Okay? Now, it's pretty cool to know Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern what the playing field looks like for the week and where the market is most likely to find support and resistance. We've published the zones since December 14th of 2009. So next month on the 14th, that will make 15 years. Now, once they're published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, they're carved in stone for the entire week. They don't change in any way whatsoever. The vertical lines separate today, Wednesday, from Tuesday, yesterday. Back over here is Monday. Resistance, resistance, resistance. It finally broke through, and then when it pulled back, it became support. And then we put in a double top from Monday to Tuesday. Now, only 3 things can happen when price encounters a weekly trading zone. 70% of the time, it's going to be consolidation. Now, consolidation can look a number of different ways. 20% of the time, rejection. 10% of the time, the slice. That's when the 30-minute candle slices through a zone like it's not even there. This was a big red candle all the way down. But by the time that 30-minute period was over, price had retraced back to the zone it sliced through, and then it continued in the direction of the slice. So we got a leg, and a retracement, and a leg. Markets rarely move in a straight line. It's leg retracement, leg retracement, leg retracement. So, anyway, last night, here's where we opened. Well above the BBC. Remember, When we're above the BBC, we expect higher prices. When we're below the green line, we expect lower prices. It's really simple. And so, this was the market open. Everyone had the targets. And what was the opening price? 59, we'll call it 59.38. So it was a 9-point move up to the target. Only takes 2 points to get your goal for the day. But it kept going all the way up to the weekly zone at 59.53/54. When the market finds resistance, it will go look for support. Once price moves through a long target, it will often retrace and find support at that target because it's an important price, important area, and important prices, important areas are almost always tested. So that support bounced us back up to the resistance at the zone, which sent us back down to the BBC, and the pullback held. That bounced us up one more time to the weekly zone. Then price got below the BBC along with red and falling, and we had the perfect stack. Price, step line, red and falling, BBC. Now you'll notice this candle sliced through the zone like it wasn't even there. What did the next candle do? It retraced back up to the zone. So you had a green candle all the way back to the zone. And then it continued in the direction of the slice. It's pretty cool, right? Yeah, I like to think so. So price stopped dropping right there, just ahead of this support area right here. So buyers came in early. They were hopeful. Pushed us up, got shoved back down. We finally made it back up to the short target, which became what? Resistance. Just like up here, when we came back to the long target, it became support. Okay? So this resistance set us back down. But this is important. See how the step line on the way down, you had price, step line, red and falling. But notice that the black step line has now crossed from the left side of red and falling to the right side. What does that tell us? It tells us that price is going to attempt to revert to the mean or retrace to the BBC. We see it over and over again and again. Okay. Now, is there some 100% guarantee it's going to get there? No. If we continue consolidating sideways here at the zone, and remember, that's what happens 70% of the time, the BBC will drop to meet price. On the Dow, this was the open last night at 6 p.m. Eastern, and we took 3 30-minute candles, so in an hour and a half, we hit the zone. Now, if you just took this candle right here, it opened at 460 and ran 60 points to 520. 60 points in that one candle. You only need 20 points to get your goal for the day. Now, resistance. Now, this target is based off this high from yesterday. It's called market structure. Resistance sent us back to support times 2, the BBC and the zone. That bounced us back up to the long target, where we consolidated, pulled back to the BBC, made one more trip up to the long target, and then, as they say, the bottom kind of fell out. We found support at the weekly trading zone, bounced up to the step line resistance, which sent us back down to the zone support, which sent us up, and you'll notice that the step line is now on the right side of red and falling. And price is attempting to get to the BBC. Once it gets there, then the question becomes, will the pullback hold or not? Okay. It holds more often than not, but you never know. I mean, it could hold 900 times in a row, and then eventually it's not going to hold. And there's no algorithm, no crystal ball, no nothing, not know where, not know how, no artificial intelligence that can tell you with complete certainty whether it's going to hold or not. Because it's based on the actions that tens of thousands of traders around the world are going to make. And in that number, I'm including the institutional traders who move price. The Russell. This was the opening candle last night at, what did it open at? We'll call it 23.33. Ran up 7 points. You only need 2 points at the Russell to get your goal for the day. Resistance sends the market to support. Support sends it to resistance. And then this time the pullback didn't hold. But when it pulled up from below, it held. So it gave us a leg down to the zone. And then the next candle reached down and touched the short target, which is the bullish cross from yesterday. Remember, when the blue line gets above the green line, that's called a bullish cross, and it leads to an extended move. The first time price revisits that area will almost always be good support. And I think you'll agree that was pretty good support, because it pushed price all the way back up to the BBC, and now we're doing what price does 70% of the time when it's at a zone. It's consolidating. In Q, this was the opening candle last night. And let's say you got in on this candle. This candle opened at 27.75. So that's what, 19 points at $20 a point. You can do the math. I continued higher, trying to get to the zone. Didn't quite get there that time, so it pulled back, and look, the long target became support and bounced it up to the zone to the tick. Now remember, these are the zones that were published Monday morning, 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Okay. Once they're published, they're carved in stone for the entire week. Then we get this massive drop down to the short target. And price bounced a little bit, but it kept going. And this was an odd spot for the market to find support. That will happen. Okay? That's why there's no holy grail, no perfect system. As I said, over the last 18,400 plus individual handcrafted alerts that we've published, on a weekly basis, 20% or less get stopped out because the market does not do the next high probability thing. The high probability thing would have been for price to continue down to this low. Now, you could go dialing around looking at other time frames, and you could find a reason on some time frame that makes sense for price to stop there. Waste of time, waste of energy, and in the long run, that will cost you money. Just as in the live training room, Michael has very specific range charts that he uses for the different markets. Okay. I execute on those same time frames on the range chart. But this is my roadmap. This is what tells me, should I be shorting? Should I be going long? Okay. I only want to take long trades above the BBC. I only want to take short trades below the BBC. Now, price moves in legs. So shorting down, but once we go into retracement mode, then I just sit on my hands. But once this candle started printing red, no, I'd be very happy to take the goal for the day out of that move. That candle opened at 688 and dropped to 580. That's like a 100-point candle at $20. That's a $2,000 per contract candle right there. Right there. Crude oil. I had crude oil inventories today. Oh, yesterday, remember I drew in these two windows of opportunity and I said by tomorrow, one of these windows will have most likely filled. And there it is, right there. See, once you understand how to read a chart and you understand market structure, you can plan your work ahead of time. I knew yesterday that if price took out this low or took out these highs, I wanted to be long. Okay? I knew that yesterday just from reading the chart and understanding how price moves. Leg, retracement, leg, retracement. Now this time we came all the way down to the zone and found support. But the candle is still touching the BBC. So at this point we can't say that the pullback didn't hold. As long as it's touching the BBC. Now obviously that held. But so far this is held. We got to wait for another candle that opens and closes below the BBC to say that the pullback didn't hold. We have two markets left, gold and silver. When I come back, we will cover those, and I'll wrap things up with our good word for the day. But right now, Michael is going to give us a recap of what happened in the live training room this morning, and then do some live trading on the TradingView platform for 30 minutes. And when he's done, I'll be back.
All right, here we go.
Looks good.
It's good to be sitting at my desk. Good. All right, so if you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to take one, you simply need to go here to mytradingiq.com. Click on this purple button right here. There's no credit card required for the trial. All right, click on that purple button. When you click on that, you will be brought to this registration page where all we ask for is your name, your email, your phone number. Down here at the bottom, if you have a Ninja Trader, give us your machine ID. We'll give you whatever indicators we have on Ninja. And if you have TradingView, give us your login ID. You really want to get TradingView. We only have a couple of indicators that we use, but one of those is only on TradingView. So you want to get TradingView for that, okay? To get TradingView, if you don't have it, just go here to Trading Platforms at mytradingiq.com. Go to Trading Platforms. Scroll down to right here. The 70% off sale is on, guys. So I just want to go on. Dwayne, I just wanted to show you this, so I don't know if you're still watching. But the 70% off sale is on right now. So you can go here and do save with an annual plan. And right now, we can go to save with an annual plan. And for us to switch to an annual, the deal, let's see what the deal is. Its premium is $49.95 a month. It's normally $59.95. That is not the 70% off sale. They have a 70% off sale right now that's not applying to us. It seems like maybe I need to refresh this because yeah, I probably just need to refresh this because that is not the 70% off sale. They're having a 70% off sale right now. And usually when they have that 70% off sale, you get 70% off. Anyway, to get it, you're going to need to go and click on this thing. Go here to mytradingiq.com. Click on Trading Platforms. Just follow the instructions in this video. All right. And Really, they are having, I got a text message that said they're having the 70% off sale right now. So to switch to an annual, that's what the text message said. Now, let me see if that's showing up in here. Nope, it's not showing up. If I say switch to annual, what does it say? Payable on December 11th, 6/15. No, that's 2024. No, that's not what we want to do. I'll have to go and check that out later. But hey, what we have going on right now, for all of you guys that, that may be on a monthly or may have been on a monthly for a while, we just switched back to the monthly. That's probably why it's not giving us the option. But if you're on a monthly for a while and you want to switch to the annual, you should have a really good sale right now. All right. So, let's get into this a little bit. Okay, let's get into this a little bit right now. The spreadsheet. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 20th day of November 2024. We made 61 ticks on the NQ. We lost 4 on the Russell. We lost 15 on gold and made 31 on the ES. That put us at 522.5 on the morning session. Today it took 9 minutes and 3 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $1,375. That is with 11 contracts on, $1,375. We took a total of 16 trades this morning. So on the month now, we're at $5,585 over 14 business days, averaging $398 per contract per 2-hour business day. On the year now, we're at $105,955 over 218 business days, averaging $486 per contract per 2-hour business day. Now, if you were to quit trading when you get the goal for the day and you were to add 1 contract per month, so far this year, you would have only had to work exactly 65 hours. That's what we're at right now on the year. Exactly 65 hours if you did it exactly like me. Exactly 65 hours. And you would have earned $2,932 per hour for those 65 hours. Okay. Now let me break that down for you a little bit. Okay. This right here is the number of minutes it took me to get the goal for the day so far this month. So we're 14 days in. And if you divide that number of minutes by 6, it's taken me 6 hours so far this month to get the goal for the day. So in those 6 hours, I've managed to earn $21,780. So my average for this month isn't that good because I had some really long days this month. This month is taking me a little longer than normal. But so I'm earning $21,780 with 11 contracts on for those 6 months. Not bad. Not bad. It's still over $3,000 an hour. This down here is $29.32. But on some of the months, you'll see, like last month, I think, where we didn't have any really big days. We're at 274. If you divide that by 6, we'll just say 5 hours. We rounded up to 5 hours. And in 5 hours, we made $33,250 last month. Quitting when we got the goal for the day with 10 contracts on. So we averaged over $6,000 an hour last month. Okay, that's, it's there and it happens all the time. This month we had some really long days this month getting the goal for the day, and we're still doing better than this average on the year. This is the yearly average of $2,932 an hour. We're still over $3,000 a month per hour so far. I mean, $3,000 per hour so far this month is what I mean. Okay, fun with math. Anyway, let's get into the trades. Okay, the gold, I think we only had the 1 trade on gold and we stopped out. It's not to say that there wasn't more than 1 trade, but we took this one right here and it stopped us out. That wasn't really the best trade to take either, was it? It was in the morning and I had a couple other trades going on at the same time. Yeah, we didn't, after this one right here was a mistake. Actually, it wasn't even a valid trade. After this one right here, we came out of the overbought. We should have put in a lower swing. It was a mistake. The next trade that was a valid trade was right here. This was the next valid one. That was enough to get your stop to break even. It's on the 9 range. You move your stop to break even after 5 ticks. The next one was right here. It was a good trade. That's not a trade. Next one was over here. It was a good trade. This one right here was enough to get your stop to break even. And then we get into the break. During the break, it looks like there was a nice trade right here. Once you finally put it in the higher swing, then it got choppy. And that was it. We ended up with minus 15 on the gold on a mistake. The Russell. We started out with the Russell. We had this one right here that stopped us out. That was a good valid trade. And I entered it on the pullback way back here and it still stopped me out. And then I picked up 21 ticks on this, gave me a -4. And then I had to break even on the follow-up trade right there. The rest of the morning, let's see, there was one trade right here would have stopped you out. And that was really it. It really didn't give up anything else today. The Russell didn't. All right. The ES, we had some good trades on the ES. The ES was having such a nice trending day. Now look at this big move up. How does that work out with everything that we said this morning? Okay. Now Ronnie, are you in here, Ronnie? Ronnie's not in here. Ronnie sent me a text message that I couldn't really see the thing that he had done. But what I had said this morning is if this starts to move down and we get down below this level, then I would really look for another big leg down like that. But what I was talking about this morning is that this is where we were in this space right here. This is where we were. And if at 10:30 it did change direction, so we'd look for it to get up above here, then here to the weekly trading zone. And then the next level up above that, see, we're in that space again right now. We have lower highs and higher lows. But the next level up above that would have been the midpoint between these two weekly trading zones. That's what I was looking at this morning when I draw this out in the lesson plan. But let's see what did happen. All right, on the ES, we started out with this trade right here. This was a great trade. We picked up 20 ticks on that one. The next trade that we took was right here. Another great trade. We picked up 20 ticks on that one. We had a break even in between, break even there, going long, and I really didn't think that was going to go anywhere. We had a break even here. I really did think that was going to go, and it did. And then we had this one right here where we picked up one tick on that, one tick there, and then we stopped out on this one. So that got us to 41, and then that got us down to 31. Okay. Now, once it did finally put in the higher swing here, it did start moving up at a pretty good rate, and it did give some decent trade setups. Actually, that one would have stopped you out, and then you couldn't take any more after it. Till all the way over here. But we were looking at it here at the end of the session. Okay, and here at the end of the session, and we were looking for it to get down below this level, and if it did get down below that level, this was the distance. This was the leg length we had worked with. Okay, but since it didn't, and now you're looking at lower highs and higher lows, it's in a triangle right here. It's going to break out to one side or the other. I think it's going to break out. Let's crunch this all up in this way too. Okay, so this is our leg down. This is our leg up. What's going to be the next leg down? Let's get a really big picture. Where do we pull back to right here, guys? At 50% retracement. So to me, it looks like it's probably going to fail here and move down overall. The questions out, the question boxes are okay. So that was the ES today. Right now on the ES, you just trade what's in front of you. Okay, let's just do this, and we'll spread it out so you get normal bar sizes. There we go. We don't have any trades here right now, but I think it's going to end up resolving to the downside is what I think. Now the NQ. Let's see. Dwayne. Oh, I see your question. Okay, yeah. All right. Let's slide all the way over here, all the way over here, and here, and here. Here we go. So on the NQ, our first trade was right here. We picked up 4 ticks on that, and then we picked up nothing there, and 21 ticks there. That's where we got the goal for on this one. Got us up to 25. Then we had a break even there, and from 25 we went up to 41. So we had 16 there, it looks like, and then From 41, we had a break even, and we went up to 61, so we had 20. Then we had a break even, and then we didn't trade it anymore. Not to say that there weren't trades, there were, but just none that we took. We got into a lot of things. I was showing some Sierra chart stuff, and which I got that resolved, by the way, all that Sierra chart I was talking about this morning. And through here and here right now, and here, actually over here. This move up right here was a nice trade right here. We came out of the oversold. That was a valid trade right there. The next valid trade was over here. I probably would have gotten a break even on that had I taken it. The next trade was here. We ended up with plus 61. I'm sorry. We ended up with plus 61 on the NQ. I'm just going through the trades that happened during the break. They were all either winning or break even trades so far during the break. Every one of them. Every one of them so far. Every valid one of them. And that's it. Yes, every single trade during the break was a successful trade. All right. I know Dwayne doesn't like to use win and lose, but profitable trade. Profitable or break even trade. We'll put it at that. Okay. All right. So now we can actually trade. Now that I'm done, let me just go through this one more time for anybody that's coming in on the YouTube channel right now. If you haven't taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com. Click on this right here. Right, click on that. There's no credit card required for the trial. Click on that to get it started. And it's going to bring you to this registration page. Just fill it out. All right. It's pretty simple. Take you 30 seconds. If you have Ninja, give us your machine ID. We can enable what indicators we have for Ninja for you. And if you have TradingView, give us your TradingView login ID. And we'll enable the indicators there for you. Okay. Okay. It's as simple as that. Now, that's it. I guess we can get into trading. Does anybody have any questions about anything at this juncture? Nope. Okay. All right. Well, then let's trade some more. If we can. We have nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. We need to see a lower swing here. We had a trade. No, actually, we didn't get a trade there. We don't have a trade. We just want to see a lower swing here on the YM. Lower swing, and then we'll be able to jump into it. Let's go look at what other things are doing today. We had a new all-time high on Bitcoin today. That all-time high, Dwayne probably talked about this earlier because we mentioned it. The new all-time high is right under 95,000. Okay, that's Bitcoin. Still going. 100 grand is coming up, and I don't feel bad for selling at 63,000. I feel bad for not buying more at 17. But this is silver. Silver's having a little bit of a day right now. Bearish, but it is. And the next one out would be the YM, which is straight TV trades on it on a 19 range. Okay, had some. Actually, not a whole lot of good trades, but break even. It was a nice trade. That was yesterday, though. This was in the middle of the night. This was right at the open. It would have stopped out.
Dow's been leading the market to the downside all week, it seems.
Yeah, it's got a lot of sideways action right now. It looks like right here, right now. Today, so far, we had an inside bar, right? Yeah, so far. But this is it right here, the Dow on the daily. What was I telling you earlier? I know one of the things I was saying was that the 70% off sale is on right now for TradingView. I got a message about that. If you're not on an annual, then it's on.
I am on an annual.
Yeah,
That just seems
apply.
wrong.
Well, I think you only get 70% off one time is what they're doing. So, and then if you switch back down to the monthly from the annual, it doesn't automatically apply. So, yeah, they programmed all that in. They're pretty clever. All right, so we did get the lower swing we were looking for over here on the gold. This is not the YM, this is gold. We did get the lower swing we were looking for over there on the gold. And now maybe it'll pull back and give us an opportunity. The other markets are just not giving us a darn thing. Now I'm going to take a moment because I know we're going to need to be doing this more and more as we get closer to the deadline that is coming up 3 weeks away now. I'll walk through this really quickly while I have no trades going right here. If we get a trade here on gold, I'll stop and I'll get into that. But I want to go through this, which I went through this when I'm trying to find it. I went through this morning in the room with everybody for people who want to use Sierra charts. And I resolved that issue that I was having with them, Dwayne, that I was talking about this morning. I was talking about it with Bert more than everyone, but let me see. Let me do a search on It was one of the emails that I sent out this morning. I know I can just do this. Here it is. Here it is. All right. So I'm just going to go over this for all you people who are thinking about doing Sierra charts. It's a really clunky thing to do, but step one, go out to StoneX, go to third-party software, download the Sierra chart. All right. Whether you do demo or live, it's just an install thing that you're going to download. They're the same file. So it doesn't matter which one you do at that point. Just download it. You can do the install from there. All right. Now over here, further over, there's a thing over here. I don't think I got it in the screenshot. There's a thing over there you got to click on to enable Sierra charts. All right. Once you enable Sierra charts through them right here on this, then you'll be able to get the data from that later on in the process. All right. Step two, you have to get service package 10. It costs $36 a month. This is if you want to use Sierra charts instead of using CQG. You got to get service package 10, which costs $36 a month. Go here to this page to do it. Then you click getting started. Do not download Sierra chart 2700. That will not work. I mean, it'll work, but it won't work with the integration to StoneX. You got to download this version down here, 2416. Okay, but you got to do all this. Create your account with StoneX, get all that straightened out. Then I extracted this from an email from StoneX. You need to upgrade your package, do the integration to service 10, $36 a month. And then I paid for the CME exchange fees. I don't know if you have to do that. I'm not really sure if I had to do that. Sierra did actually get back to me and they responded kindly. I need to get back to them and they should guide me with that. Then follow the instructions in the email below. Now this is the email that I got from StoneX. Okay, it said do the software download at that page, which I already showed you up here. And then version 2416 or earlier must be used. 2416 works fine. Then if just follow these instructions, right? And when you go through all of this, it's going to bring you to a page like this one. All right, when you do this right here and you go to global settings, data trade services, this is what this page looks like, data trade service settings. Go in here, you're gonna have to select gain capital OEC. In here, use your prod gain futures. You have to connect to a live account at Gain. If you can't connect to a live account, then the Sierra charts I don't think is gonna work right. Put in your email, whatever email you use to log on, put in your password for that email to your live account, right? This doesn't automatically mean you're going to be trading live. You got to do all this stuff just to hook up to Sierra. This here is your actual account number, trade account. Like mine is DTR something, something, something is what mine is. Put in that DTR something, something, something in there. Okay, whatever that is, put that in. And when you do that, you should have a green bar like this. When your connection is complete, you should have a green bar like that at the top. You're still not done, okay? That's just showing that you got connected. To get the data that you need, you have to go to edit, and then down here it says translate symbols to current service. I think that's what it says. Click on that, and that will pull the data from Gain, okay? And then you finally have the data connected, all right? Then you'll have to load a chart book. I'll create one that's got the DOMs and the stops and all that stuff in it. But it'll be like loading a layout with TradingView or loading a workspace with DT Pro or loading a workspace with NinjaTrader. It would be the same type of thing. Okay, And those are the steps you have to go to just to get it connected. But fortunately, you only have to do that one time. Once you get that done, it's done. Okay, once you get that done, then then you have it just running all the time like this. All right. In D, I don't know if you saw this morning, but they have, if I do get things that we need here on the Sierra charts, down here at the bottom, they have all the tabs and everything that you're normally used to doing. You see them all down here? They have everything down here the way that you're used to doing it. I don't know if you're still listening. Are you listening right now? I'll show you again later. I don't think he is. All right, the gold is about to give us a trade. I need another up close over there. But then you get this, right? Okay. Okay, so you see all these tabs down here.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of thing that you're used to using, and they have that on the Sierra chart. So tell me what you need on the Sierra chart, and I'll see if I can just make it for you without actually putting all the indicators on there. Okay.
Well, I think I've got everything set up that I need on TradingView.
Oh, well, good. Then you don't need this. All right.
As far as I know, it seems like I do.
Well, good. That's good. That relieves that extra task. Thank you for that. For those of you guys that like to use volume charts, not the volume charts here, but the volume charts on DT Pro, you'll note that the volume charts on TradingView, the volume charts on CQG are not the same. The candle fattens up on the volume. It doesn't actually switch to another candle when you get to X number of contracts. That does work with Sierra charts, but again, we don't have our indicators on Sierra charts. So therein lies a little bit of the rub. But I just wanted to show you guys all that, right? Then once you get in here, you can go to global settings, and in global settings is where you set a whole bunch of things up. You can set your charts up from in there. They have a literal ton of things, graphic settings. Look at all these things that you can do just a ton of things.
What language is it programmed in?
C#, I think.
C#? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it was programmed in that before. Way back, 20 years ago, but it is now. The NQ's actually got a trade here, guys. I don't know if I'm too late to get into it. Let me check and see. I think it's already gone 4 points into profit. 650 down to 96, exactly 4 points into profit. I would still try to enter, but I think it's going to go down even further right now. So I was showing you all that. We missed a trade here on the S. We missed a trade here on the NQ. And I was watching the gold because I thought the gold was the one that was going to set us up. Now, when it's all said and done, you can end up with a DOM like this. Now, the way that it works, let me go here and see if I can do this. File, new, open trading DOM. Okay, and you come in here, and we'll come in here and grab something. Just anything. We'll open a 6E DOM, December 6E DOM. Okay, we'll do open trading DOM. And this is the way it opens up, like this. Okay, the way it opens up. And it has this thing here. I thought this was a break-even button, but it's not actually a break-even button. I tested it this morning. Now, I like to detach this window so that you have this like this, and you can just slim it down so it fits on my screen just right. It's just like my other DOMs. And in here, if you set up your bracket, throw an order on like that, it's just like we're used to using with DT Pro. You can get rid of that confirmation right here. If you go there and you go to confirmations and uncheck it, then it works just like DT. Okay, you can move your stops around, you can move your targets around, and they stick once you move them. And it works just like DT. Okay, that's why I'm going with Sierra charts. It does cost $36. Plus, it might cost another $12.50. It might cost like $50 a month total. But but for me, it's just an expense. It's well worth it. And you get a DOM that looks just like something you're used to. Okay, so when we have to do the transition here in less than a month, when we have to make this transition, I'll be much more comfortable doing this after I practiced on it for a couple of weeks. So I'm saying all this to suggest to you guys that you get started with this. Whatever you're going to do, learn how to do it. Start learning now, because if you're trading with real money, you're not going to want to jump right into something like that blindly. you just start losing money right away, and then you end up blowing up your account just because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know the mechanics. And for anybody that signs up with us, the first thing they have to do is learn the mechanics. You can learn the trade setups, that's great, but if you don't know how to put the trade on, well, then you want all of it to be like muscle memory. All of it, to putting the trade on, learning what the trade setups are, and putting the trade on. You want it to just be automatic, so you don't really think about it whenever you do it. All right. So the trades that we had so far, we had this one right here that I didn't do, that worked out to some degree. It didn't put in a lower swing, so it didn't continue the trend. This one over here that I didn't do, that worked out to some degree. It didn't put in a lower swing. All right, this one did not put in a lower swing, and the gold is the only one that did, and that makes sense, because if the indices are going up, the gold should go down. Okay. All right. I gotta go see something really quick. I want to see if it's stuck. Nope, it didn't. I can tell already it didn't. That is not the right thing. Okay. Doesn't look anything like that. All right. Now if I go here, zip here. That didn't work out either. I'll do this again in a minute. You guys don't have to watch us. We have 3 minutes left in here. We might get another trade. The gold, here's one set up on the gold. This is what we're waiting for. 51.2 down to 50.2 on the gold, and now I've lost my gold down. Come on, man. Where'd I put it? Gold. Here it is. Where'd it come up? Okay, down to 51.2 down to 50.2. That's what we're selling there on the gold. Okay. Yes. So right here, we need this to, well, got a little bit higher swing. We need that to get down to the oversold. Over here, got a little bit higher swing. We need that to get into the oversold. We're just going sideways there. And on the gold right now, it's got a higher swing. It's got a lower swing. It's got a high right here of 51.2. So we're trying to sell 50.2. I think we're going to run out of time before it happens. So, and I have about 2 million things I got to do between now and 3 o'clock. Looking around, I don't see any questions coming up. We're almost at a trade setup here on the NQ, just barely. And a trade setup there on the NQ. Right, the ES never did get down to that low that I was looking for. And if we crunch this all the way up, we still have lower highs and higher lows. You see this big whip right through in the middle right here, where what I was looking at, earlier when I started this session, what I was looking at was this. I'll draw it with this guy. Not him. Well, I can't draw it with him. What I was looking at earlier was that and that. And you see, so we had this move down, gives a head fake to the downside, and then this move up gives a head fake to the upside. And now it's really going to make the decision right here where it comes out. We're getting down to the apex of that, but this big whip right here, that put in a new low and a new high above this range that it was in. You see that? That's what we're dealing with right now. And I think once it decides, then we'll see, once it decides, we'll be able to trade in that direction. I think it's going to go down. I don't know. But from the bigger picture, the very much bigger picture, this is a 50% pullback. And this is just the leg down. As it starts to move down, it's got to get down below this level right here. right? It's just getting choppy within that leg down is what it looks like to me. So we'll see what happens. Over here on the gold, we ended up not having a trade. It closed up, not down, so 52.3 is the high. So 51.3 would be the low in here, and I've just run out of time anyway, but it's not looking like it's going to be a very good trade. So I'm going to cancel that. And I'll say this, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go out here to mytradingiq.com, click on this purple button right here. There's no credit card required for the trial. Click on the purple button. It will bring you to this registration page. On this page, all that we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. Once you give us that information, down here at the bottom, if you have an administrator, give us a machine ID. If you have TradingView, give us your login ID. Hit the register button, and we will send you all the information you need to get going with us in the morning session, right? And also to get your indicators indicating on your charts before your trial actually begins, right? And that is it. With that, I can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready. Okay.
Okay, recap of the morning session.
Today it took 9 minutes and 3 trades to get to $1,375.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys. The only two markets we haven't recapped yet are gold and silver. This is where gold opened last night above the BBC, along with blue and climbing. So what do we expect? Higher prices, right up to the target. Now, where did the target come from? Simple. Yesterday's high. Bang. So we opened. Now remember, these targets were published right at the open last night. And so we opened at 26, we'll call it 36. And it ran up $800 per contract traded to the target. Resistance sends the market looking for support, which it found at the short target and the weekly trading zone. Support then sends the market looking for resistance, which it looks like it found right here, because the step line has crossed blue and climbing. So now expect price to retrace back to the VBC and the top of the target, which will be potentially support times 2, and that will give us another leg to the upside. If the pullback doesn't hold, if we get below the VBC, make sure you're aware of this bullish cross right here, okay, at 26.34 roughly, okay, because when you have a bullish cross that leads to an extended move, the first time price revisits that area will almost always be good support. And silver, this is where we opened last night, and we got below the BBC. Blue and climbing quickly turned to red and falling, and it took us down to the short target and down to the zone that was published Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. So we got a little bounce, and then we continued to lower, and this low right here, you see where price ran up and it got slapped back down, but then the next candle, see, that's an important price support area, and that's where the market stopped falling. Buyers come in, drive it up right to the bearish cross. See where the red line got below the green line? That's a bearish cross. When you have a bearish cross that leads to an extended move, the first time price revisits that area will almost always be good resistance, and it was. Plus, when you see all these wicks sticking to the upside, you can expect price to head lower. Blue and climbing is now hooked over. We're below the BBC. We got red and falling overhead. So if we can take out this low here, then your next support area is here. And then here, basically at the zone. But you only need 2 pennies with silver to get your goal for the day. So this is where we sit on the daily, where we started this broadcast. Got red and falling overhead. We've now spent 1, 2, 3, 4 days sitting on the daily BBC and the 38% fib extension. How we close today will be obviously very important. But before we can expect any major move, we're going to have to take out yesterday's low. Okay? And we're going to have to get below this is the 24% fib retracement. That's the shallowest possible fib retracement. Okay? Now, once we break that 24, it could be a quick. Now, you're going to have support right here. You see where the step line crossed, the red and falling turned to blue and climbing, and you had a step line right there. See that area? That's an important price, important area. So expect support there. But once that's taken out, then we're probably going to find ourselves down at the 38% fib retracement. To learn how to do what we do, and if you're new, it may like that, man, there's so much stuff. Not really. Because it's this, because we're not changing, we don't change our swing every day. Oh, today we think is this kind of day, so we're going to use these tools and trade this way and blah, 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 blah. Here's the bottom line. I don't care if it's an up day, a down day, a fast day, a slow day, a crazy day, or a sleepy day. Price flows the same across all markets and all time frames, from support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over again and again. It's a never-ending cycle. So yes, you'll hear some buzzwords you never heard before, and the way you think about the markets may have to have a paradigm shift so that you understand the market the way we understand the market and the way we read the charts, okay? Because that may be different than whatever you used in the past that didn't work for you, because if it did work for you, you wouldn't be here, right? If you're here listening to this, then that's because you're trying to learn how to become consistently profitable, okay? Now, we can't guarantee you're going to be consistently profitable. We're going to give you all the information, all the tools, all the alerts, everything we can give you. But we don't know what you're going to do with the stuff we give you. Are you going to follow the rules? Are you going to use simply the indicators we provide and use them in the manner that they're supposed to be used? And something that nobody can give you, sell you, or loan you is patience and self-discipline. That's between you and God. I can help you with it in your one-on-one mentoring sessions, but basically that's got to come from you. And for a lot of people, they just don't have the patience and self-discipline necessary to become a trader. Now, if they work on it enough, I think they can achieve it, but it just doesn't come naturally. Okay? So, anyway, if you want to be a member, if you want to learn everything we can teach you and have access to all of our tools and alerts and everything else, send an email to support@cfrn.net. In the subject line, put, "I want to become a member." In the body of the email, you can throw in your name, your phone number. But when Valerie gets that email, she's going to send you an email chock full of information, and there's going to be a link in that email. All you got to do is click the link in the email, become a passport holder. Then she'll send you several emails with lots of important information. Some of it you won't even understand right away. So don't trash it. Put it in a folder because you're going to need it. 9 out of 10 new traders fail because they don't have a teacher. They bought a course, they read a book, they watched some YouTube videos. Hey, this looks pretty easy. Well, now you know it's not. I know of no profession where there's this kind of a washout rate. Not even Navy SEALs, which is arguably the toughest job on planet Earth. Now, Futures Magazine in 2006 published this article, but they did not say why. So I became a man on a mission. How's that even possible? Well, I found out. Didn't take me long. People were stumbling around in the dark with no one to take them by the hand and actually teach them how to do the job. Imagine trying to become a pilot or a brain surgeon or even a baker without someone to teach you how to make the donuts. You probably go out of business because your donuts are horrible. People can't eat them. Follow me? This is where we offer something that is so unique in this industry. Not only do you get 2 hours of group training in an interactive environment in live markets every trading day, you also get private one-on-one mentoring. The strategy you learn, the indicators you own as a passport holder, are fluid across all markets, all time frames. Stocks, futures, crypto, Forex, ETFs. Daily, weekly, monthly, hourly, 30-minute, 5-minute, tick chart, range chart, doesn't matter. Price flows the same across all markets and all time frames. I show it to you right here every day. And on our YouTube channel, there's over 2,600 daily episodes. So if what I showed you today, you're thinking, he just got lucky. Okay, maybe I did. Go look at the other 2,600 plus days, and maybe I got lucky all those days too. Maybe Michael got lucky all those days. As a passport holder, you're going to get the Logic 247 alerts around the clock. You're going to get the concierge trade alerts every night when they're published. Every Monday morning, you're going to get the weekly trading zones at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. And you'll be able to attend the members only workshop every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, and that's tomorrow night. So today's a great day to send that email and become a member today. It's everything a trader needs, all under one roof, one low price. And as an added bonus, you get around-the-clock support via Telegram. Plus, you get the golden key that opens all the private channels in Telegram. Just send that email. You can continue to stumble around in darkness, or you can step into the light with around-the-clock support. The ball, as they say, is in your court. Now, for the last 2 days, we've talked about what to do when you're under attack. I feel like we're on a roll, so let's keep going. 2 Corinthians 4:8. We don't know why things happen as they do, but we don't give up and quit. Satan can attack you anytime, anywhere. Now, let's say you want to become a trader. Maybe you already have a retirement package, or you got a great job that pays you great money, But maybe you want to learn how to trade, just so you can do some of the things that you know God created you to do. Maybe your gig is not building orphanages. Maybe you're going to build houses for the homeless, feed the hungry, clothe the naked. Now, if you don't think that's going to get the enemy riled up and actually fearful that you might succeed, well, you got another thing coming. If he sees that you're serious about learning how to trade, he's going to attack you any way possible. Because if you succeed, guess what? You actually will take the gospel to the four corners of the universe, if you're a believer. If you want to defeat him, here are some tried and true biblical principles you need to follow. Number one, guard your mind. Your mind will never be defeated as long as you're victorious in your mind. That's the birthplace of everything you do. Satan knows that, and he will try to get your thoughts so scattered you won't be able to concentrate on what's important. Don't let him do it. Get back into focus. Isaiah said, "You will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you." Isaiah 26:3. Number two, love people, but trust God. Live by this scripture. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. Psalm 118:8. When the enemy wants to hurt you, he will often use a person to do it. Your enemy is anyone who attempts to thwart the will of God in your life. Identify such people and avoid them. God never commanded us to trust people. He commanded us to love people, but to trust him. Understand the difference, because your success depends on it. And number three, never give up. Jesus said, "No one who puts a hand to the plow and looks back is fit for service in the kingdom of God." Luke 9:62. Your dreams and goals are worth any fight, any price, and any waiting period. It's your faith that defeats Satan. Remember Joseph? Every day of adversity was just another stepping stone towards the throne. So keep walking and keep believing. Your victory is ahead. And that's our good word for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with his mercy and with his grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.